Islam and peace and blessings. Here we go again. I'm going to speak on, we've had a lot of results and accomplishments lately, which is a good thing. I'm going to speak to you on the essence of what that document actually says. Once you sign that 5-page legal document, right, they issued all us a court order that done it already, without us even petitioning the court. So now you have a state court order saying everything in that document is true about you, because it's a 5-page legal document, which includes your genealogy. Always remember, all your birthrights come through your blood, your genealogy. When they erased our genealogy, that's how we became the Negro, black, colored, and all that. So we didn't have no royal birthrights or none of that. And under Islamic law, your genealogy is your first fundamental birthright, because that tells if you're royalty or not. Remember, the only way you can be royalty is hereditary. It's hereditary. Your genealogy is what says that. That's why all them genealogies is in the Bible. Even Jesus' genealogy, he got two like us. Read the book of Matthew and read the book of Luke and read his genealogy. One goes back to Abraham, like ours. Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary. And the other one goes back to Adam, the son of God. That's how he was the son of God, his genealogy. And it's the same with us. They issued a court order verifying it. Who were Adam and Eve? The mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims. And then they went a step further, even in their proclamations, remember? All across the United States. They said, we are the descendants of the Hamathites, the Moabites, and the Canaanites. They said, our forefathers are the mothers and fathers of the human family. Drew Ali's statue says those are the Asiatics and Muslims. They said it, though. Read that document legally. Forget about that Moorish Holy Week part. That don't mean nothing. We can have our own week whenever we feel like it. You don't have to ask them for that. Read everything else that they put in there. The legal parts, the public notice they were given. But see, that document, because most Moors haven't known to use it in all these years since 1928, let's be realistic now. Okay. They don't know that Drew Ali incorporated a tribe also. Even though in all those proclamations put out from D.C. to Seattle by the European, it specifically says Noble Drew Ali was the patriarch and founder of the newly risen Nation of Moorish Americans. That's the name of the tribe. But because people haven't used our authority, they don't know that. And you can't even tell them that. They won't even believe it. Drew Ali incorporated a tribe. Everything with us is tribal. And because you've properly registered that statute and have a state court judgment, you have what's legally called tribal sovereign immunity. That's how you approach them. Because once they scan that QR code, they're not going to approach you. You have tribal sovereign immunity. That's what it's called. Look it up. Look up all the Supreme Court cases on it. See, they don't label people paper terrorists when you go incorrectly. It's called tribal sovereign immunity. The Supreme Court of the United States specified tribal immunity, tribal sovereign immunity cannot be waived. That's why that document is so powerful once it's issued by their state courts. And yeah, we got this. That's why my tax exemption says tribal, because I know we're a tribe. I know that. I've been doing that since 2008. Me, Sheik Rodriguez Parks Bay, LaJuan James Bay, Richard Davis Eel. It was a group of them. They told us that in 2008 it was tribal with us. And told us how Drew Ali incorporated. Because you just gotta use common sense sometime more. If Drew Ali say do all business, everything, in the name of Noble Drew Ali, the Moorish Science Temple of America, Okay, so me having legal sense, right? Common sense. The only way we can still do business in his name all these years later, or any year later, is if he incorporated himself. We got to use common sense. Now, this is what Congress said. Noble Drew Ali incorporated himself first. Then he incorporated the Nation of Moorish Americans into himself. Then he incorporated the Moorish Science Temple of America into himself. That's what he did. But I don't know. It's like he said, you got to be upright, independent, and fearless and take your place in the affairs of men. Sometimes it ain't your place to go talk to all these people because you might not be strong enough to. It might be your place to do something else in the affairs of men. Everybody plays different. But me and Paul's Bay, now we going to sit down and talk to these people. Listen, if you come to Cook County, every mayor, alderman, trustees know me personally. Police officers, all that. Because you can't get nowhere just sitting down saying, well, I think this, I think that. No, I need to know this and know that. We are a tribe. Every Moorish American that's registered, like we registered, and you see that court order, has tribal sovereign immunity. I want y'all to go read those cases, Supreme Court cases. They've never issued no judgment on tribal sovereign immunity saying it's paper terrorism or sovereign citizen stuff, because it's not. They got case laws. Tribal sovereign immunity cannot be waived. We are officers of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Moorish Science Temple of America, in legal terminology, is called a tribal governmental corporation. That's what it is. Every tribe has one. And that's the only way. Just read their laws. They passed that 1927 Indian Act. Read that. It made every Native American automatically a citizen of the USA. That's what it did. It's called the 1927 Indian Act. Go read it. The only way you can do business with them, the tribes, to the U.S., to their government, is government to government. It specifically says the U.S. government cannot deal with natives individually. It has to be government to government. That's why he set the temple up. Do all business in the name of Noble Drew Ali of the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's just that simple. They say do all business, everything, in the name of Noble Drew Ali of the Moorish Science. Why is that? Why is that? Should I go into that teaching? Should I go into that teaching? Drew Ali say all free national beings are of one family, bearing one free national name. So you got a lot of adepts, you see. They gonna tell you the Ill and the Bay is the free national name. But that's going outside of what Drew Ali just stated. All free national beings are of one family bearing one free national name. So the state of Illinois just put up a bill and said those are tribal names. Okay, all tribes got tribal names. We know Ill and Bay are a tribal name. Okay. This your Ill and Bay verify you're not subject to the state jurisdiction, though. No tribe here. That's not no special, unique privilege. No tribe or its members are subject to state jurisdiction, period. Now, Drew Ali said all free national beings are of one family bearing one free national name. So what is our free national name? So Allah say he sent down 5 books. The Injil was one of them, right? The book of Revelations, the gospel of Jesus. It says, you will be given a white stone with your new name written on it. Correct. Talked about the book of 7 seals. It talked about the little book, which is our authority, the book of the Lamb, book 521, page 579. It says you must be found written in both. That's how you know it's a contract, because you're putting science, religion, and law all together. That's the only way you can know, period. So, Drew Ali say, do all business, everything. That's what, read the Humanity Pamphlet. I'm quoting it, verbatim. Do all business, everything, in the name of Noble Drew Ali or the Moorish Science Temple of America. So I noticed the only white stone I was given with a name written on said Noble Drew Ali. You see. So then I flipped back to Noble Drew Ali. All free national beings are of one family bearing one free national name. You see. And then I go back. Humanity Pamphlet. Do all business, everything, in the name of Noble Drew Ali or the Moorish Science Temple of America. You see. So I'm like, but you know, in the Bible, right, in the book of Nehemiah, I want y'all to go read it too. It's not no long book. You ain't got to read the whole thing. Just read what I'm about to tell you. When the children of Israel were released from Babylonian captivity, slavery, just like the Moorish in 1865, they came together in the square and formed one man. That's what the book of Nehemiah said. So, me being me, I know legally, politically, religiously, for a fact, Noble Drew Ali is our free national name. That is your free national name. Noble Drew Ali. That's why he say do all business, everything, in the name of Noble Drew Ali of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I mean, it might be hard to some people, but it's not hard to me. So when I sent my documents, my state court order to the IRS, because it's on a 1099, so me being a scientist and studying in 1928, the only 1099, because there's only one. It wasn't like 22 of them like it is now. It's one 1099, and the only purpose was an information return, you see. So when I sent mine to the IRS, their response, and I've already posted and showed everybody, their response was they changed my name and everything on their file without me even requesting it. So I know that document worked because it worked whatever I try to do with it. So now when I respond, they say you can only respond to us like this. They put Noble Drew Ali up there. Then put Sheikh Aaron Hunter L and my address. The IRS did that. I didn't do that. And I didn't even ask them to do it. I just gave them the information return, you see. And it's a state court judgment, so it's legally binding on them too. You got to remember, the President of the United States got to go before the judges. The judges had the last decision. Drew Ali said, I'm going to make them enforce my law. We didn't make them enforce his law because we didn't petition the court. He literally made them enforce his law because he made them issue a state court judgment on our authority, just that 5-page legal document. They had to issue a state court judgment. And that's amazing to me. We still trying to figure that out, but hey, we're going to move forward. Because they issued a judgment on our genealogy and everything. And the $100 billion that we put on the statute itself, our authority. That state court judgment made all of that legally binding on the world, though. And we didn't even have to petition the court. So now what I'm going to do is, you see, since it's saying I'm a descendant of Abraham, Boaz, Baruch, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah. Listen, because Federal Rules Evidence 902 says that's an international document. So now we need to send that to Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, Mecca, Jordan, which is just modern-day Moab, and the Queen of England. Because we're heirs to the royal throne of David also, you see. See, our authority is just the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple America, enacted into statutory law and legally binding on the entire world. That's what it is. The Ottoman Empire, the whole Islamic world, the whole European world said, we are the founders of the holy city of Mecca, and we are the founders of Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. And then starting in 2012, all the European nations over here, the whole United States of America, started putting out proclamations saying that our forefathers are the mothers and fathers of the human family. Okay, now that's a legally binding fact, because they issued a state court judgment to certain Moors on that fact already. Several of us. So everything with us is tribal, even though a lot of Moors don't want to accept that, because they keep, I don't know who they think tribes are, but tribes are their own sovereign nations. The only reason the tribes over here, because every Islamic nation is a tribe now. I don't know what the hell they talking about half the time. Over here, they're going off these tribes. But in the Islamic world, it's all tribal, period. That's the purpose of our genealogy. What tribe do you come from? I'm a descendant of the tribe of Moab, the ancient Moabite. It's just that simple. Your genealogy has to take you back to one of the tribes in the Bible. Remember, the records of the human race are religious. They're divine. The Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple America says that. All them genealogies and everything in the Bible, which one of those tribes do you come from? Because it talks about the Moabites, the Hittites, the Amorites that came over here with us, everybody. The Canaanites, the Hamathites. Everything is tribal. From the beginning to now. So I don't understand why the Moors just can't accept that it's tribal with us. Everything under Islamic law is tribal, period. But when you come over here to the tribes, they're basing their decisions off the tribes over here. And even though they're semi-autonomous governments, they're states under Article 4. That's why it says the citizens of the states, the tribes, are entitled to the same privileges and immunities of the citizens of the several states. See, they got their own citizens. The tribes govern the tribes are not subject to state jurisdiction, period. But a tribal government can arrest a non-tribal member on their property. Shit. That's what the law say. Just look it up, Supreme Court. But they thing is, they made Congress their trustees. That's where they messed up at. We have our own trustees. Congress ain't our trustees. So when they made Congress their trustees, right, that's why under the New Deal in 1934, they came with that Indian Reorganization Act. So all the tribes that signed on to that made Congress their trustees. That's what the Inc. did. The Moorish Science Temple America Incorporated, that's what they did in 1934. They suspended Drew Ali Constitution and came with the 1934 rules and regulation and reincorporated under that act. That don't got nothing to do with what Drew Ali did. Period. Everybody made Congress their trustees. They're not our trustees, but we have our own, appointed by statutory law, legally binding on them, in which a state court judgment has already been issued. So that's not no issue with us. But I've been going national just to see if it worked, and it worked everywhere. Because most of the time, like with Walmart, your tax exemption just gonna probably work in one state, and each state you go to, you got to reapply. When I applied for ours, it worked in every state. Her sister's been using it in several different states. The secretary. Then you got when you're talking to them about our tax exemption, that 1010-5905, which has been there since 1928. We just started using it. When they ring up tax exemptions, right, and you have to be specific, because say you got our authority in your hand. They're going to look at the document, and whoever at the cash register, their brain going to automatically go religious. No, because there's, I want to say, 5 different type of tax exemptions that they can punch in right at a cash register. You have to tell them there is a diplomatic tax exemption. If you don't, they're going to get a 10% tax exemption like they do religious organizations. They're not going to give you the half price tax exemption like they do the diplomatic tax exemption. But the people at the cash registers don't know how to differentiate. So you have to tell them that's not a religious tax exemption. It's a diplomatic tax exemption. And you'll see the big difference. Because even our police buddies told us that. He said, stop letting them hold y'all to religion because y'all not tax exempt because of y'all's religion. You're tax exempt because of your heritage. That is what the police said. It's our heritage that makes us tax exempt. That is a diplomatic tax exemption. But you have to tell the people at the cash register, you have to tell them that. Because there's 5 different kinds they can ring up. You got government tax exemption on there, but the highest tax exemption is diplomatic. So why use the government when you can use the diplomatic? Because when I filled out my Walgreens tax exemption, they asked that. They said, type of government. I say federal. And then they're going to ask you, is it tribal or governmental? I put a tribal federal government. And then they ask, are you a foreign diplomat? I put yes. And then I sent it in, and it was approved in less than 24 hours. But these are things you have to know, though. Don't let them stick you to religion, bro. And the only reason I know all these facts is because, I don't know, I was blessed. I actually asked the police. I go and say, tell me what this is. And that's what the whole legal department told me. They keep trying to stick us to religious. It's not religious with us. We are tax exempt because of our heritage, our genealogy. It is a diplomatic tax exemption. It's not even a government tax exemption for real, because we're not tax exempt because of our government. We're tax exempt because of our heritage. That is what they said. Our genealogy, just because of who we are. That makes it a diplomatic, the highest form of tax exemption. That's the highest tax exemption, the diplomatic one. But you have to tell them that when you go in there. Because our authority proves that you're a sheik. You are a foreign diplomat. See, I be trying to make it make common sense and stick in y'all head. You're a sheik. You have a statute legally binding on the whole world and a state court judgment issued saying that you are a sheik. You are a foreign diplomat, because no state can give out titles of nobility. So you can't be no damn state citizen. You have a title of nobility, sheik. You're a foreign diplomat under their law and ours. And it's legally binding on the whole world. Use the tax exemption as a diplomatic tax exemption. It's not a government tax exemption because the government didn't give us our genealogy. We're born with it. The government, genealogy and heritage is the same thing. Lineage, genealogy, heritage, they're all synonyms. But the police specifically use the word heritage. That's why I said that. You're tax exempt because you're heritage. So it just, you got to know that. When you're filling out for your tax exemption, always put on there you're a foreign diplomat, because they're going to ask you. It's a box on there. You can check it or don't check it. I check, I'm a foreign diplomat, because I know I am. I'm a sheik. State can't make you no sheik. It's a title of nobility. And the federal government can't make you no sheep. Only your genealogy. But Drew Ali said everybody has to be divinely guided, not just him. And only angels can follow divine instructions. That's a fact. An angel is thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. He ain't said no spiritual being with wings flying around this motherfucker. I'm manifesting in human flesh. Y'all manifesting in human flesh. We're just fallen humanity. We're the fallen angels. Drew Ali came to uplift fallen humanity. And he told everybody he was the fallen. I don't know why everybody think we ain't the fallen angels now. That's who the hell you are. All of us are one of the fallen angels. An angel just a thought of Allah manifesting in human flesh. We fail, remember? That's why Drew Ali came to uplift fallen humanity. What it say in Our Authority? Who were Adam and Eve, the Muslim fathers of human family, Asiatics and Muslims? What people represent the higher self? The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca today, to keep the unbelievers away. What's the modern day name of those angels? Asiatics. Drew Ali told us who the hell we were. It's just we don't want to accept it for real. Because we got to accept the fall now. And just... Drew Ali said he can't uplift us. Let him uplift you. The crazy part is the whole European world knows who we are, except us. They know who the hell the angels are. That's why they don't have no authority over you. Your authority comes directly from your Father, the Father of the universe. The Father, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Shit. What is the everlasting gospel? It is a saving power that comes from Allah through our ancient forefathers, genealogy, by his holy prophet. You got to think, once they issue that state court judgment on our genealogy, that is the priest king lineage. That is the Pharaoh lineage. Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, son. Ruth is in Jesus' genealogy. Let's start right there. Abraham is the father of many nations. David, those are all priest kings. Solomon, all of them. But that's why I say you have to know thyself. And thy father. They say don't ancestor worship. That's damn impossible. See, you got to stop listening to them too, because they'll completely lead you astray. You don't have no choice but to ancestor worship if as long as your father. I ain't on nothing. Sitting here talking on this phone. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.